Hello, it's April the 22nd, Saturday. Let's see, it's probably about 5:30, and I'm down here at the lake. My minnow trap's been in here for a few days, a lot longer than I want. You never know if it's going to be here, somebody's going to steal it or run it. So let's see what I got. The lake's really coming up. See if I got anything. Oh, I don't have very many. Oh well. Got a few in there. The last ones I caught were really big. So anyway, so I'm gonna get them dumped into my minnow bucket, and I'm gonna go down to the boat dock and see if I can catch some fish. All right. Well, I got me a fish on. It's a big drum on a minnow. I did not know they would bite minnows. Anyway, I'm just letting him wear out. And he's not like a catfish where, you know, they'll fight and then they'll just give up. He's almost tired. I guess he weighs about 4 or 5 pounds. Let's see if I can get him up. He's wore out right now. Probably break my line. There he is. That's my foot. He's a big one. All right, I gotta get that hook out. I don't know if I throw him back in or not. We'll see. Well, I used all my minnows. I didn't have but 6. And I caught a crappie. He was about 8 inches. I threw him back in, and then I've lost the other one to bite. So things are beginning to pick up a little bit as the water temperature begins to rise. So I think I'm going to be getting my boat out next week and trying this. And I think I'll just leave this fish right here, and let's see what wants to eat him tonight, if anything. But anyway, I'm done. I didn't have but 6 minutes, and they went through pretty quick, so I need to get my minnow trap back out again. Might try putting it over here at this boat dock, because I do catch them over here as well. So I need to go home and bait it and come back and set it out. So all right, well, I'm gonna do that, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, I'm over at the other boat dock. I thought I got my minnow trap all baited up, and I'm gonna throw it right out here along the boat ramp, and see if I catch anything. I don't like getting it too deep, but the lake is coming up, so I'm gonna find a spot where it just submerges, about like that. That trap is about a 12-inch round in the thickest part, and I like it to be just a couple of inches above the water. And since the lake is moving, it's probably going to be like 6 inches by the time I get back over here. But anyway, so I'm gonna just tie it off on this kayak rack, and we'll come back tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and see what we got, if anything. It's supposed to be really, really cold. It's supposed to get down to like 37. Man, it's crazy weather. I think this will be the last spill. Some people are saying that they think it's blackberry winter over here. Not, a lot of these folks doesn't even know what blackberry winter is. But I don't think that's it, because usually blackberry winters comes whenever the blackberries are blooming, and they usually bloom around Mother's Day, so we'll get another little cool spell then, and then it'll get hot. All right, until Sunday afternoon. Well, hello folks. It's April the 27th, about 10:15. It's very, very cool. Unreasonably cool. I haven't filmed in a few days, but I've been doing a few things. I did put that U-channel on top of my hair to see if that four-wheeler would pull it, and it pulled it, but it was a struggle. I had to have it in differential lock and super low, so that the front would grab. And I ran it on my road a little bit and back over at that other spot. But the other thing I've been doing is I took that deer stand down right there, and my intent was to replace it with another one, and I did. I ran the hair down here with the U-channel on it, and it raked it out pretty good, but I had to take the U-channel off of it because my four-wheeler wouldn't pull it. All it would do is spin. So I had to take the U-channel off the hair and get it out, and then come back and then get the U-channel. So I've been kind of doing that kind of stuff, and I got this other deer stand up, and it came out pretty good. Wasn't too much of a challenge. I've got a kind of a system now. When you're doing this by yourself, it's like, you know, you got to be careful. These things you'll fall out of the tree, or ladder will shift on you. All kind of unfortunate things can happen. But anyway, here it is, and I threw the line over that limb and pulled and got my rope around it with my four-wheeler and backed it up, pulled it up, and this tree is pretty good size, and it was hard getting my deer stand around, my climbing stand around it, so I could get up and ratchet it, attach it to the tree. So I backed my four-wheeler in here and got on top of that one, and that put me up about right in here, and I could climb up to there to put the straps on and tighten it down, and it's pretty sturdy. It is good and sturdy. So I got that done, and I've been running the hair over this other part that I cleared, and that's getting in pretty good shape. If the weather would ever get warm enough, I want to plant something for the deer, probably some corn and some alfalfa. I'm not really sure. I planted this one spot up here where my garden is in clover, thinking that the deer would come to it, but I can't see indications of them even chewing on any of it. So I don't know if it's the best thing to put down for deer or not. Anyway, it's gonna spread, and hopefully it'll put on some pods, and maybe the bees will find it. Anyway, I'm gonna get the four-wheeler and get the hair hooked up, and I'm gonna pull it down the road and do a little playing around. Catch up with you on that one. Well, I have dragged this several times, and it's bringing up a lot of rocks for sure, and some vines that still are buried. But I'm going to try to plant some corn in here and some alfalfa and see if that will bring the deer in. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what to plant, but I've drug this several times, and these root systems at this point, I think I'm just gonna let them, even though they're buried, I think they will die, because they don't have a way to get any light to them, so they'll eventually just dry up and die, and you can come over here and pull them up probably this time next year. But anyway, I've got the hair hooked up to the four-wheeler, and I'm gonna drag the road around, and I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but I drug back to where my truck is and back down to the gate and all the rock, and it straightened it up. I rutted it out sometimes when I pull up that little hill without putting in four-wheel drive. My truck will spin, do like a half a rotation before it grabs, and it makes little ruts in the rock and makes it bouncy when you come across it. So I run it across there several times, but I'm going to take it around. I may go all the way to the back of the property where I made that turnaround for my trailer when I was using the excavator, and run it around there 2 or 3 times and see if I can get some of that worked out. But I'm gonna head back this way and go around, and we'll get caught up then. Well, that was putting a strain coming up that hill. Got a lot of leaves. So I'm going to disconnect this, go back and get my truck and pull it with my truck. This is too much for this four-wheeler. I'm going to have to get my son's four-wheeler. So I'm going to get this disconnected and get back over there to the and get my truck. Well, I decided I was going to get over here and turn this cell camera on. I cut it off back in January. When I started clearing all of this. Turned out nice. Okay, red light, green light flashing, so that means it's trying to get a signal. There it is. Alright, so that will be sending pictures to me by this evening. I'll just run it for like 30 days or so and then cut it back off. It has a limited number of pictures that it takes on that camera. On the other one I've got, it's unlimited, so I just let it run all the time. Through here, but can't do it with this four-wheeler. Alright, get this thing in. Come on. There it is. Alright, so I'm headed back to get the truck. Not quite sure if you can see that or not, but you can see where, maybe you can see where I have drug a hair through here, and it's making a path. My four-wheeler really struggled getting up this hill, and so that's why we're doing this in the truck. As far as I got, I'll hook it up and get on to the back side of the property. Okay, this is the turnaround on the back of the property. That's where I cut the the path so that I could come around this way and come. And this is the part where I really want to drag a lot. The road itself is pretty clear. There's really no need, but just to get it back here, you got to drag it. So, and it's basically picking up a lot of leaves. And what happened is, as they build up, you see that right in there, there's a bunch of leaves, and they'll just build up and actually just kick out from underneath it. The hair will raise up, and because it gets so many in there, which is okay. I do see a few little limbs and stuff, so it did pick up something, but it's not really that bad. But this right here, I do want to get around several times. I'm not sure how to make the turn, but this has a lot of ruts and stuff where I dug up the trees, a lot of holes and stuff. I guess I need to cut those little ribbons off of there. They were my markers. Anyway, I want to run it over here several times if I can make this turn with the hair. We'll see how all that works out. See, there's a root right there, and I didn't bring my axe with me to get that up. Oh well. But like to try to get this smoothed out. This is real rough in here. Okay, let's see what we can get done. All right, I went around it about 3 times, and I got as close as I could. I really need the 4-wheeler so I can get closer to the tree edge over here. But I went around it 3 times, missed that spot right there. But I need a 4-wheeler so that it won't, I can get a little bit tighter to the trees. I want to do the same thing where I made a path that went down into the bottom and cleared and put a stand down. I want to do that with the hair all the way down there and back. And I want to do up here where I got my other deer stand, another deer stand that I cleared up here. But basically this is just leaves, it's not root. There's a root right there. I guess it must be clogged up with roots. But the leaves doesn't bother me. What I wanted to do is try to get it smoothed out a little bit. Of course, this is not the, I don't guess this will do that completely because it's not heavy enough. You really need an excavator so you can cut it and smooth it back and forth. I mean, not an excavator, a track steer. I may still end up renting one, I don't know. Kind of really doesn't matter, but it's not where I want it. But this is what you do when you're got champagne taste on Coca-Cola money. You do with what you can. All right. So I'm gonna head back to the front and probably get all that stuff out of that hair when I get back, if there's anything left. There's probably some roots. Oh yeah, there's roots in there. It's gonna be interesting. Okay, I'm gonna head back to the front. underneath the hair. Let's see what that does. Keeping this road clean from debris, especially limbs. I think I'm gonna pull right over there next to that pile, since I'm gonna have to get everything out from underneath this hair. Pull it right in here. There's some ruts in here. All right. Now getting this thing cleaned up. Heavy, but I've done it multiple times, so maybe it won't be too bad. Well, I need to back up a bit. Got it too tight. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up, and then I'm gonna park it right over there, and probably that's all I'm gonna do today. Look at all the rocks. I may pick up a few rocks. Anyway, all right, so I got to get the, see if I can get this thing flipped over. Man, that thing's heavy. 300 pounds. Okay, we'll talk later. Well, I decided that I would continue with picking up some rocks that's on the surface, and I've been doing that for just a few minutes, picking up roots that's laying there. And I got my little tub here, and I got that load. I guess it took me like 20 minutes, and most of the rocks seem to be kind of in this back area here. There are some smaller ones right in here, but as far as the majority in the cluster goes, and the big one seems to be in this kind of elevation right in here, back in here, all the way around the edge. You can, I don't know if you can see all of these rocks that's on the edge. It seemed like to me the further I got down this way, the more rock I got into for some reason. But anyway, that was just walking around and picking up just a few that was laying on top of the ground, which I missed 100,000 of them. And I think what I'm going to do is take my rake and rake them into little piles, and then I can take my pitchfork and run up in there and pick it up, and the only rocks that will come out will be the ones that will slip through the teeth of on the pitchfork, and get some more of them up. Might as well do it, because until the weather gets warmer, I'm not going to be able to plant anything. It's probably going to be well after 1st of May before I can even plant anything. This weather is kind of, well, I don't know. It's just the end of April, so I think what threw us all off was the fact that we had some days in the middle of April that was around 85 degrees 2 or 3 days in a row, and it's like, okay, summer has arrived. And then nope, not yet. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to dump those right over there, and we'll see if I need them in the future or not. There's some big ones right in there. Okay, that's probably all I'm going to do today. And I keep walking around and picking up rocks. I'll have them up. I got to go down to the co-op and talk to the guy to see. I know he's got some corn seed. I don't know if he's got any alfalfa seed or any other type of seed that you can put for a deer plot, but I will go down there and talk with him and see what he's got before I go to the next county or buy something online. All right, I'm gonna dump this load right here and do something else for the day. Later. Well, there's a Tom. He's flaring up. He's following those two hens. So it's been about 30 minutes since I've come by, and
that Tom's trying to get lucky.
yeah, I know. Yes, he is. And there's the Tom strutting, and he's after his girlfriends. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, good day, folks. Today is April the 28th. It's about 12:15 p.m. And we saw the turkeys. They're on the side of the road. They're just everywhere. I've been out running errands, and they're just everywhere. The rain moved out and warmed up, and so the turkeys are on the move. Actually, they were almost to my property down here, so I'm going. My goal today is to run my field cameras, and I'm going to go down in the bottom where I dug the hole and back that way. I'm just going to walk it this time instead of getting on a four-wheeler. Exercise. I need a lot of exercise. So those turkeys are right at the edge of my property, and they could come across here, so I'm going to take my shotgun with me, and if I happen to see them, I might or may not take a shot. Really don't care one way or the other about turkey. Now, deer, I will shoot a deer in a minute, but anyway, so I'm sitting here. I've been out after I saw the turkeys. I came up to my gate and I brought my little clippers, and I needed to trim some bushes, some hedge bushes, that was growing over where I cut on the side of the road, and then I had some that's trying to encroach on the road itself, and I trim those back. I need my pole saw. My son has it. I'll get it and dress it up a little better. Picked up trash. People over here just, I think it's a lot of the construction workers that's doing a lot of work over here, building houses and stuff. And I don't know if it's too much of the residents. There's some evidence that it's residents because of, I pick up little vials of empty whiskey, vapor things and like that, water jugs, stuff from Bojangles and Burger King and those type of things. People just throw out the window instead of taking it home and disposing of it. So I have to walk my property line, keeping that picked up. But right now I am just sitting back here and enjoying the warm weathers that has popped up, and I'm eating some popcorn and having a little Dr. Pepper. And so the cold spell finally, I think, is going to leave us. There's kind of some confusion about what type of winter it was. We have these intermittent cold spells before it gets hot. And there's all different types of people with different theories about what type of winter we just experienced or going through right now. And I believe it to be blackberry winter. I think it's early. Usually it was around Mother's Day we get into blackberry winter, and it would be a cold snap. But riding around and seeing a lot of the wild blackberries, they are in full bloom. So my opinion is that it's we're going through a blackberry winter phase, and probably in this front, after this front comes through, I suspect it's fixing to get hot. And so I bought some corn on my little food plot that I'm gonna put down, and I bought some alfalfa. I've never grown alfalfa. I've been on YouTube looking at how to do it. I think this particular spot may be ideal because it is hard and compact. It's one of the requirements, and I don't know about the nutrients in the soil. I will put down some fertilizer, something high in ammonium nitrate to give it a boost. That dirt is a little bit better than my garden spot. I probably will do that one day next week to ensure that the warm weather's coming up and actually is going to stay. It takes about a week to 10 days for, I think, the alfalfa to germinate. So I'll put all that on the video when I get ready to do it. But right now, I'm just going to sit here in the nice shade in this comfortable 65-degree weather and eat my popcorn and drink my Coke, and then I'm headed off to look at my field cameras. Alrighty, I'll catch up with you later. Okay, well, I got a little popcorn down and drank my Dr. Pepper, so I'm off through the woods. It's warm, but I got this jacket on because I've got on a blue shirt, and stand out like you know what, and a turkey comes up, they'll be able to see that a long way. So, but I got my little cover for my head and my face if they should happen to come by. I can get that on real quick. But anyway, one of the reasons why I want to go this way is because I need to exercise, but the other reason, we got a lot of rain, at least in the other parts of the county, and it really came down heavy. But there's not a lot of water coming off my property on around the street. There's not a lot of water flowing, so really didn't get that much. But I want to check this watering hole that I dug down here and see if it caught any water. I know it's not going to hold water. It's got, I think it's got, it doesn't have enough clay, and it's got some rocks in it, so it's going to leak out. There is some products that you can buy. It comes in a bag that you can sprinkle over it, and it kind of goes down and expands and seals all those holes. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off until I get down to the bottom of the hill. Well, I made it to the bottom. Caught a little rain. Not a whole lot. I don't see too many deer tracks either, like I did when I first dug it out. I think they smelled the dirt and came down here and see what it was all about. But I do see some where they walked in the little bottom right there. So anyway, I've got to get down here. That's a pretty good distance, and then I got to go over that ridge and start up the big hill over there. So this is where the turkeys may come in, right in this bottom right here. They may walk up through here, but it's probably going to take them a couple hours to get over here. They're slowly moving and feeding, and it's only been about 30 minutes or so since I saw them last. But anyway, we meet, we don't, we don't. What is that? Cut you off here. I got one camera checked, and just deer and turkey. So I got to get up this hill. My battery's almost out on my camera. So anyway, I'll have to catch up with you when I recharge. Well, I got back to the truck. My battery went dead back when I was on the back side of the property. And when I finally got over there and started up the hill, all that sunshine went dark, and it rained on me. And when I dumped my pictures, I put it on the laptop, the SD card, and dump it on my laptop and delete the SD card, put it back in the camera, etc., etc. And then my laptop gets wet, and the mouse won't move, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And finally, it took me about 30 minutes on one camera to get my laptop to where I could use the mouse. And finally, I made it back to the truck and let it dry out and recharge my battery on my camera for a bit. And then the sun pops back out. I think it's going to turn off warm here, so it's not a whole lot going on. So I think I'm gonna head back to the house and see what's left to be done over there. There's always something to do. Okay, I'll catch up with you later.